Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh man, I knew it was gonna be scuffed in some way. I forgot to turn off my friggin' what's it's you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I. Yeah,
The
I.
friggin' the V screen. I was like, damn it.
I, I, listen, you can. It's not a VTuber stream if something doesn't go wrong.
It's true.
It
It's
could even
true.
a podcast too, anyways. But hello there, Mango. Glad for you to join us with our project that we've been working on.
Yeah, we've been working super hard on it. Oh, why
Exact.
is my character like way off screen? Hold on. See, I knew this was gonna happen, even though I sat there for like an hour with my screen in the proper place. That this was gonna happen during Scream. During stream. I want to scream because it's
uh,
happening. And it's close.
hey Mango, I hate to tell you that, but all like my channel points for themes, I kind of did not put any of them here because this is my podcast thing, so you could give yourself points back since I know you're moderator and stuff. But yeah, I disabled like I got rid of all my channel points since this is our podcast form. It's gonna be like serious. Still gets passed. Okay, thank you.
Trying to be serious. I sounded like Mrs. Bighead for Rocco for a minute.
Oh my god.
Oh no! Am I that old? Like, oh god. Ed!
What are you gonna
Ed!
shite? Oh hey Cookie, it's been so long.
Okay, am I good now on the screen? Now I gotta look at myself.
But
No,
luckily,
I dropped my phone! Why?
luckily this is a podcast form, so this is all part of it all.
You know, we should see about what we have to do to just like isolate the audio at some point so we can post it up there too. That'd be hilarious if we made it on Spotify.
Bro, if we could make it to Spotify, that would be awesome. But this is our first
mean-
episode. We're already thinking big already.
You're already thinking big thoughts, big dreams. Don't let your
Exactly.
dreams be dreams.
Just do it.
Just
Do it.
Oh man. Oh, it's been a crazy week over here. We're flooding over here. All my surrounding, like I'm okay where I'm at, but like all the exits and entrances to my town are flooded. So
Jesus.
it's been quite an interesting week, and it was supposed to rain all week.
I,
So
all I had was the U.S. Marshals raid my neighbors. That's the only
my
craziness
God.
that happened to me.
I still can't believe that happened to you.
Yeah, it's wild, but hey,
It is wild.
all I can say is don't hide a murderer, kids. That's all I can say.
Kids, don't hide a murderer in your house.
Exactly. That murdered 5 people because they just did not like them.
Yeah, Jesus, that's insane. That's insane. We're gonna have to do an episode on that once all of that like comes through, man. Like once we know all the details.
Yeah, the only thing I know is if we are the person they are looking for.
I would never.
Listen,
It's not.
I'm too
It wasn't Chucky
lazy.
It wasn't Chucky Finster. Well, I guess it could be. That voice could have been Chucky Finster. I was going for Butters from South Park, which isn't.
You could fool me for making it sound like Butters. It was reminding me of something else. I just couldn't put my finger on it.
My chat says Chucky Finster.
Chucky Finster. I don't know what that voice goes from. It's just I think it's like something from Tales of the Crypt or something.
The Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, the Crypt Keeper. I thought he had some name, but no, I forgot. It was just the Crypt Keeper.
No, he's just the Crypt Keeper.
I thought he had a name. Dead ass. Or just my childhood imagination going crazy.
I think he's just the Crypt Keeper, but I could be. I mean, I could even be wrong. I could be remembering everything wrong. So,
Exactly.
but
But it's
yeah.
I'd TV that.
I'm not used to talking to people on the stream still. It's an adjustment. It's an adjustment. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but so what brought us here today?
What brings us here today? As you know, I'm Honeybee. This is Sam Nudie, and
Hello.
we've been working really hard on trying to put together a true crime show. Because we haven't seen anybody else do it, and we're both true crime nuts.
AK, we haven't seen any VTubers do it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not view. Did I say YouTubers?
No, you said you haven't seen anyone do it. I was like,
Yeah, nobody in the history of anywhere has done this. We're the first. Forensic Files is part of the Mandela effect, and it never happened.
Oh god, don't get us started on the Mandela effect. Wait, no, it's the Mandela.
Bailey Sarian also doesn't exist. Neither does Rob Dyke. None of them. It's just us. True crime has never been on anything else. But VTubing wise, VTubers, I've not seen anybody do true crime, and so me and Sam met at the beginning of
It was
when I started.
Yeah, when you first started. I've been going at it for 4 months at the time, while you just went at it for your first day. But we even met before. It's like before you even started streaming too. Like you popped up in one of my chats because you saw my link and stuff, and we just started talking.
Yeah, because I joined one of the various. I don't remember which server we were in.
Oh god, I can't remember.
That's how I became friends with Jay too. Which Jay will be a co-host, kind of like a guest host.
Special guest.
Every once in a while. Yeah, special guest every once in a while, since he's going for his psych degree to give us some input on some of the psychological stuff that happens with like serial killers and criminals in general and stuff like that. So we're really looking forward to providing you guys with some quality true crime entertainment. And we hope that you like the show, because we'd like to keep doing this.
Oh, yes.
Bi-weekly.
Yes, and what I find ironic is Jay's going for his master's degree and you said psych?
Yes.
And I'm going for my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and we're both sea creatures, and you're the only non-sea creature.
I'm the only non-sea creature.
That's the
funny story. I almost went with a jellyfish or octopus.
But you're my chainsaw paws.
I'm chainsaw paws. I am the badger. I am the badger.
We didn't get that. What if we didn't get that drawing of me just holding you like a battering ram with chainsaws as your paws, just breaking down a door?
That'd be funny.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
I gotta do that. I gotta finish my emotes, because I still haven't finished the emote of me with the chainsaw paws.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting for my new model.
Oh, I'm so. Oops, I'm not supposed to talk about it. I didn't say anything. I said nothing. You heard nothing. Absolutely nothing.
But anyway, I'm gonna hear you guys while I draw. Okay, I hope your drawing goes well, Mango. But also,
put us on for background noise. We don't care.
Yeah,
it's more of like a podcast where we're just kind of sitting here in our little avatars and talking. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm about to say, this is a podcast. Who doesn't put the podcast on in the background for background noises and stuff? I know I do whenever I go on my long car rides back to my parents' place.
Yeah, I put on, like, at night, I put on, like, true crime stuff to go to sleep, because, you know, I'm a psycho badger like that, I guess. Or Game Grumps. Game Grumps compilations.
For me, I just listen to, like, this might sound crazy, but I either I put on a horror movie, or I listen to, like, a crime show, or something morbid that happened in the YouTube community, or just drama channels, because because I don't know why, but drama channels have like the most monotone voices. Most of them do, so they just put me to sleep.
Yeah, I watch horror movies too at night. And everybody's like, "How can you watch horror movies when you're trying to go to sleep?" I'm like, "Easily. I just turn
Yes,
it on. I turn it on, and then I watch it." And
that
they're like,
is
"How do you not have nightmares?" I was like, "I
yes.
don't. I mean, I do sometimes. It's like, whatever. I like it, so I like what I like, and that's why spooky season's my favorite
Oh
because
yeah, I am all about spooky season 2.
yeah." So
But
tonight we're gonna be talking about. Oh, I screwed up I hit the button on it. We're gonna be talking. Where'd the. Uh-oh. Where'd the second. Oh, never mind. I'm dumb. We're gonna be talking about. Uh. A killer that you guys might not even know about.
which is shocking.
It is shocking because this guy is the whole reason for why everybody's so creeped out about candy on Halloween. Um, so
Yeah, it because like it's crazy because I never knew the backstory behind this until we started talking about it.
yeah, I didn't know about it until I heard I think Bailey Sarian
I don't know who that
was
is.
Bailey Sarian. Oh, she does murder, mystery, and makeup. And so you probably wouldn't watch it, but I like her even if I didn't like makeup because she just talks to you about, it's like she's talking to you about the crime and what's going on, and she's just like, "Can you believe this?" And I'm just like, "No, Bailey, I can't. Tell me more about this morbid, horrible thing." But
God.
that's how I found out about him. And so I figured that this would be a good segue into the series, to talk about the dude that essentially, in a way, altered the way that Americans view Halloween.
Yeah, it's gonna be a crazy time. So shall we just hop into this now? My favorite co-host.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited.
I'm glad you have that energy because you have more energy than me right now. Let's
I don't
do.
know how. I don't know how. I haven't slept in like a week. I don't know how I have any energy right now, but I
Yeah.
am stoked.
Uh,
Stoked for this.
now, let's hop right into this. Hold on. Wait. There, okay. No, I got things working on my end now. I had
There you go.
almost exit out of our PowerPoint slide by accident. Totally not discussed. Okay. So, when you guys think of Halloween, most people think of all the costumes, pranks, candy, and fun to be had. There's trick or treating for kids, and maybe if you decided, you go to a party at a friend's place, or even just stay home with some friends, watching some scary movies, munching on some candy. For most people, Halloween is a fun holiday. I know it's my favorite holiday because I like horror and all things of alike. Why do you think I play Dead by Daylight so much?
Yeah, seriously.
But according to legends and rumors, that always wasn't the case. Looking back, there's always been this looming sort of chill over this holiday. The same warnings from police officers broadcasted every year, as well as from your parents, internet, TV. To this day, yada yada, things that we always ignore. So, for once, I say this with all seriousness. Please check your kids' candy and make sure it hasn't been tampered with.
Especially after you hear what we have to talk about tonight. 'Cause
Exactly.
it's gonna blow your mind if you don't know about it. Where exactly did that ominous warning come from that we've all heard about for years? Would somebody really go out of their way to harm children on a festive night like Halloween? Or is it truly just some wives' tale that we've just come to accept? A spooky story for the scariest night of the year when ghosts and ghouls roam the earth. Unfortunately, these yearly cautions are based in truth, and it's a heinous tale that will leave you absolutely disgusted. Let's dive into the case of the original Candyman killer, aka the man who killed Halloween, with me, Honeybee.
And me, Detective Sam Nudie, on our first episode of Whispers from the Deep.
It was 1974 in Deer Park, Texas, which was a rapidly growing middle-class suburb, doubling in size by the time the 70s rolled around, thanks to being so close to Houston, where its shipbuilding industry held over from World War II and was still making quite a bit of money. As well as with all the oil rigs and industries popping up all over, like local textile industries, like paper, plastics, concrete. They were also booming, making Houston and all the surrounding areas more and more desirable to live in. Though businesses were flourishing and it was rapidly growing, it was a rather quiet place still, with many families flocking to the area. One of those families was the O'Brien family. Ronald Clark Ronald Clark O'Brien was a well-respected optician at Texas State Optical in Sharpston, another suburb of Houston. Ronald was also the deacon at his local Baptist church and who also sang in the choir. On top of that, they trusted him so much that they allowed him to be in charge of the church's bus system. Robert was said to be soft-spoken and kind, the kind of guy that you could depend on and a model citizen. People of the church he was at claimed he was a great example of a good Christian and that he loved his kids and was an amazing father. Robert was married to his wife Daneen O'Brien, and the couple had 2 children together, Timothy and Elizabeth. They seemed to be your normal, loving, Brady Bunch type of family. That was until October 31st, 1974, when the O'Brien family and the nation would be shook to its very core.
So Ronald, Timothy, and Elizabeth had gone trick-or-treating in a nearby peninsula, a richer neighborhood than their own for having better candy. Ronald also invited their neighbors, Jim Bates and his 2 kids, to come along and hunt for treats on that cold, rainy night. 2 children that were probably feel very lucky they made it unscathed, looking back at the tragic evening. The 4 kids and Jim headed up to a house, Ronald lagging behind them. The squad of trick-or-treaters knocked on the door, even though lights were off, in the hopes that someone would answer. But to their dismay, no one seemed to be at home. The kids sprung off, excited to go to the next available house. When Ronald finally caught up to the group, he surprised each kiddo with 5 giant pixie sticks, allegedly from the dark house they'd given up on. He made the comment that they given up too easily, and that the neighbors just must really be rich if they were giving out stuff like that. When they got back to the Bates home, Ronald distributed the pixie sticks, and without question, the kids took the massive pixie sticks and put them in their treat bags. Who wouldn't? It's a kid with pure sugar. It's time to be hype. As for the remaining pixie stick, it had been apparently given to a boy Ronald recognized from the church that stopped by. He scampered off in awe with this large stick of sugar.
mean, I would be really excited if somebody gave me a huge pixie stick. That, as a kid anyway. Now I'd be like, ugh, that's way too much for me. But like back then, I'd be like, yes, give me the sugar.
Sugar.
And terrorize my family for the next 12 hours on a sugar high.
Oh gosh, sugar high.
By the time the neighbors were dropped off and the O'Briens got home, 8-year-old Timothy and 5-year-old Elizabeth O'Brien were excited to dig into the night's bounty. They asked if they could have a piece of candy before they went to bed, and Ronald obliged. Timothy picked the large pixie stick that his father had collected somewhere along the way that night. The boy excited to chow down on the sugary stick of just like, it was huge. They were like as long as your arm, these pixie sticks. So,
They're pretty huge.
yeah. Timothy told his father that he couldn't get the giant stick open, the top stapled shut, which, hello, as a as a parent, that would have been my first inclination to be like, maybe we shouldn't eat this stapled treat that is usually not stapled. But hey, what do I know? So without skipping a beat or questioning it, Ronald just helped Timothy open up the pixie stick, and Timothy poured some of the sugar in his mouth, making a face as the powder hit his tongue. Timothy immediately complained that it tasted weird and bitter, but Ronald just brushed it off, telling Timothy it was nothing to worry about. Ronald then proceeded to give Timothy some Kool-Aid to wash it down, and Timothy just happily wandered off to his room, none the wiser to what was about to happen next. After a few minutes, poor Timothy complained of a stomach ache, placing his hand on his stomach as he rushed to the bathroom. He proceeded to vomit violently. Suddenly, the puking stopped, and Timothy dropped to the ground with a loud thud and began writhing and foaming at the mouth as he began to convulse. Ronald scooped him up in his arms, and soon after, Timothy stopped shaking, slumping over completely.
I swear, when I saw her again with the Kool-Aid, I can't help it but to think of Jonestown.
Jonestown, no, it's not, is it Jonestown? Yeah, it is Jonestown.
Yeah.
And we should do an episode sometime on Jonestown, and what's the other guy with the old guy in the robes and the Nike shoes?
Oh, Stargate, Colt. I think
Stargate.
I think that's what
Yeah.
they're called, Stargate.
Yeah, we should do an episode on those guys since they're kind of similar at some
Yeah,
point.
true.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, the cult episode.
The cult episode. I mean, there's a ton of cults to do episodes on, but those two are very similar.
Yes. But, okay. But Ronald, you might say, immediately called the ambulance like a sane person would, quote unquote, with him, knowing him. As the police and paramedics got to the scene, the police found Ronald there with Timothy still in his arms. The weird part that the police seemed to have noticed was that Ronald seemed to show no emotion, but they assumed that, just like a normal person, he wasn't shocked. I mean, who wouldn't as a parent who just watched what just happened to one of their kids? Despite the team's best effort, sadly, Timothy died on his way to the hospital. When immediately questioned by the police, Ronald said, quote, 30 seconds after I left Tim's room, I heard him cry to me, Daddy, Daddy, my stomach hurts. He was in the bathroom convulsing, vomiting, and gasping for air. Then suddenly he went limp. When Timothy was brought in for his autopsy, the coroner reported smelling a scent of almond emitting from the boy's mouth. When the autopsy itself was said and done, the medical examiner reported that Timothy has ingested enough cyanide to kill 2 to 3 people easily. that he wouldn't have had a chance to survive no matter what anyone had tried. This was a deliberate and brutal killing, and it was one that shocked everyone. Who could have done such a thing to a child of all things, just trying to enjoy this cool, fun holiday? Who was the monster amongst them, creeping in the shadows? Pandemonium ensured as the world broke out in the small town. Police stations across the nation became overwhelmed with bags upon bags of candy to be tested for poison. One child, the boy from the church, remember him? He came back up, who had stopped by and been given that last pixie stick, was said to have fallen asleep with the deadly treat next to him in bed. His parents thankful that he'd not given in to that temptation of a late night snack.
That had to have been like the scariest damn thing, though. To walk up there and see that stick in their kid's hand and know how close they came to their kid just being 86th. Like, that's gotta be the worst. That's gotta be terrifying.
Yes. Like, legit. Like, honestly, like, if I was that parent, as soon as I saw that piggy stick in my child's hand, I would have had a heart attack right then and there.
Right? I would have freaked out and been like, ah, give me that thing, you know? Like, oh my god, I can't even imagine.
It's crazy that some people could do that.
It is. It is really crazy that people could take advantage of little kids like that.
But hey, luckily, the police from Pasadena and the Deer Park were able to prevent any more children from being hurt and able to deduce that only the pixie sticks was given to get the pixies themselves. I don't know why I couldn't say themselves for some reason. Were the only things that has been tampered with. In fact, instead of being sealed shut, like a normal pixie stick, they've been shut with a staple. Like, that should have been a red flag right then and there to see a pixie stick with a staple in it. 'Cause I don't remember any bit pixie stick distributions having staples in their.
No, they've always been like melted closed in a way, like sealed.
Yeah,
like,
they were
with
sealed.
The melting machines.
So that should have been a red flag, unless they were probably thinking at the time, oh, there's probably some marketing to cut costs and all that stuff. But upon opening them up and all, each they found the words. Each one of the same grim findings in Timothy's autopsy. They were packed with cyanide. The first 2 inches of each of the sticks, which is enough to kill 2 to 3 people in one go. Which, honestly, if he's gonna open them up and put that cyanide in, not saying do this, because I highly will say don't do it. But if he's gonna be a real killer and stuff, he should have shook it up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I read this. I was like, why would you do that? And just like, oh, I'm just gonna put it in the top, and then, you know, and again, nobody is telling you to do this.
Yeah, do not do this. Please do not. This is just us talking. Do not do any of this.
Because it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like,
why wouldn't you mix it up? Because then that bitter taste wouldn't have been there to begin with.
Yeah, you should have, like, as soon as you stapled it, which I don't know why you staple it, shook it up. And boom.
Yeah, I don't think that this guy
he's not the smartest.
Is not the smartest crayon in the Friendlies crayon box before you go and have your, like, nice little meal. He's just, and you'll find as we talk about it more, just not at all smart about any of it.
It's insane that they can have the courage to kill like a child of all things, but they can't do the right things to cover it up. Which again, do not do this,
Yeah, do not do this. Do not do
please,
this.
or I will RKO you out of nowhere.
I'm coming in with the people's elbow. Stone cold stunner your ass if we find out that you listened to our show and was like, oh, this is a good idea. Let me just run to the store and get some old pixie sticks and put some cyanide in them. Please, for one, you will get caught so fast because cyanide is so easy to detect now.
Exactly, with modern
And two,
technology.
you shouldn't be killing people. Don't do it.
And third off, why the fuck are you buying a pixie stick? Pixie sticks are not popular anymore. Barely anyone likes them. Even kids don't like them anymore.
Yeah, Pixie Sticks. I never was really a fan of them when I was little. I mean, like I would have been excited when I was like really, really little, but like by the time I hit my teens, I was just like, oh, this stuff is gross. Why did we like this?
Like 4 years old to like 7 years old, I was like, hell yeah, pixie sticks. 8 years old, I was like, this is disgusting.
Yeah, because it's just like, it's like somebody took Smarties, which I'm not a fan of either, and they
Same.
just ground them up and just like put them in a stick. That's what it tastes like to me, and it's like it's tart, and like I usually like tart things, but those things are just like it's too much sugar. It makes me sick to my stomach after. So
Exactly.
joke's on you, Candyman Killer. You wouldn't have got me.
Joke's on you. I was too scared to always go out at night because I was a scared little kid and nervous about everything. So,
Aw, poor little Sam Nudie was afraid to go Halloweening.
I had to go with like a group of at least a minimum of 5 people for me to have the courage to go out because I was always scared of the dark.
Aw, I was super scared of the dark too, so don't feel bad. My pop had to bring my popo. He had to bring a flashlight with us, and I always had to hold his hand until we got to every single house because I was afraid of the dark. And I was afraid something was gonna get me. It's
Exactly.
Halloween! It's Halloween! And everybody's like, oh, ghosts and goblins are out and, ghouls. And you're just like, I don't want to be eaten by no Zambambo. Here, Pops, hold my hand.
Exactly. Oh, hey, Sheoff. I promise none of my candy is bad. I'm glad that none of your candy is bad, Sheoff. Because as you being in coming from the sweet land and stuff, I hope none of them are bad. But, so, the investigation, honey.
Yeah. As the investigation officially began, Ronald kept acting very suspiciously. I mean, he'd been acting suspiciously, in my opinion,
you can
since
say he's
the
a
very
little,
beginning.
you can say he's a little sussy little baka.
He's a sussy baka.
I can't believe I said that.
I mean, he's the definition of a sussy baka if you think about it, because he's a suspicious idiot.
Yeah.
But he kept dodging investigators' questions about what house the pixie sticks had been picked up at, which seems strange seeing as how he'd made this big to-do about the abandoned house giving out great treats. And Bill Lanier, one of the detectives on the case, had commented that his responses seemed off when they asked him where the house was. He kept just saying, I don't know what home, I don't know what street we were even on, but they trick-or-treated down 2 of the streets in total in Pasadena. Like, that just gives, like, a wide scope, and they were all just like, what? How do you not know if, like, you like, Jim Bates, the guy that was with him, was like, well, he made this big deal about these pixie sticks, and how did you not know where you found them if it was such a big deal?
And also, you went to the rich neighborhood, so there was plenty of where to go too, because you wanted the kids to get the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that since he went into the rich neighborhood that he'd be able to pick out the house because, I mean, they're rich, so a lot of them probably didn't look exactly the same and stuff like that.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
nothing is adding up, and I know I suck at math.
Yeah, exactly. It was just all sort of just weird. the way he acted. And when they pressed him further on who he saw or like a description of the person who gave him the pixie sticks, Ronald claimed to have never seen a face at all. Merely, all he'd seen was a hairy arm of a man just jutting out from the darkness of the slightly open door to hand him these pixie sticks, which again, to me, would have been a red flag.
100%.
Like, they don't say anything, they don't look at you, they don't turn on the light, just hand creepily coming out and just handing you the stuff and then shutting the door quick. I'd be like, I'm not gonna eat this stuff that you've just given me.
Look, this is like straight up a Goosebumps tale, or just like those cartoon Halloween specials.
Right. It's like where like people like totally overlook the most obvious things, and like
exactly.
I don't know. I don't understand how he could orchestrate all of it even as well as he did with as badly as he failed. But the cops made him walk up and down the streets of Pasadena with them until finally Ronald said he recognized the house who had given him the candy, which was the home of Courtney Melvin, his wife and his daughter. Now, the police went down to Hobby P Airport in Houston, where Melvin supervised shifts, arrested him in front of all his colleagues and friends, and brought him in for questioning, which had to have been embarrassing.
Yeah, imagine.
But imagine that you're just like doing your shift and then you have no idea what the hell's going on except for what you've seen on TV, and then all of a sudden they're like, you need to come with us because we think you murdered some kid, and you it's like, what?
Yeah. Like, funny enough, like, I know how awkward that is, because there was one time back in my high school and stuff, there was a drug problem going on, and I had a painkiller, because I was experiencing bad migraines at the time, but I forgot to submit the paperwork to my nurse that morning,
no.
So I had it in my lunchbox. So we had a random drug search, and next thing you know, the drug search was done and all, and when I sat down, the police grabbed me, picked me up, and dragged me out of class.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. That's awful. I had my locker
yeah, it's
searched
very awkward.
when I was awkward, like very awkward. That had to suck.
Yeah, it was. But I explained everything. It's like, hey, I'm one of your top students in your school. You know I wouldn't bring drugs. And they looked at it and they saw it was just a Tylenol. Just literally a singular Tylenol. That's all it was. That almost got me arrested.
Wait, so it wasn't even like a painkiller prescribed by your doctor? It was just over-the-counter Tylenol?
Yep.
And they couldn't tell that it was Tylenol? Who doesn't take Tylenol?
The school I went to did not have the smartest people.
It doesn't sound like it. That's
Listen,
awful.
When I came out of the ocean to study on land, I came to the south of America, so I did not come to the right place, it seemed like.
I get why my dad, who you guys might know, he is a god of mischief and a kind of a frost giant. Why he thinks that humans are all pretty stupid.
Yeah, I still remember. I still have loads of files on your dad at my office because he can't stop messing with stuff in my area.
Listen, I can't control what my dad does. I can't control him. I can't. He's a god, and I'm just a
don't think I'm afraid.
A demigod.
Listen, I'm not afraid to throw down with a god. I had a interdimensional hopping Satan jump into my office one day. He's like, "Hey, you want to learn some magic?" I was like, sure.
That does not sound kosher. That sounds like some creepy guy. Hey guy.
Because I kind of accidentally opened up a portal because I was studying the supernatural so I could solve more cases because my caseload was kind of light, going independent and all. Then I accidentally opened up that portal, he jumped out of it. So I'm not like, it's kind of like another version of Satan, so I'm not gonna say no because he probably just choke slam me to the next dimension or something. So
I just can't get over it. It's just like, hey, kid. You want to hear some great
as long as we
stories?
don't pay any legs or arms. Nope, I didn't pay an arm or leg for it. That's why I know just basic stuff. Now where were we?
Luckily for Melvin,
Yeah, luckily,
Melvin.
luckily she did have to deal with Satan.
Yeah, like luckily he didn't have to deal with Satan, and luckily there was a big glaring hole in the story that tipped off the police, and that was that Melvin had a solid alibi. Courtney Melvin had worked until 11 p.m. that night, and his wife and daughter had turned the lights off early because they'd run out of candy. Due to the high traffic area of which Courtney Melvin worked and his time cards, he could solidly prove he was nowhere near his home that night. Not his phone, his home. And Ronald had claimed up and down that the arm. One second. His arm that he saw was that of a hairy man. So even if Courtney had been home, Courtney Melvin wasn't hairy, and neither was his wife or child. So who exactly had given him the tampered pixie sticks if Courtney Melvin, the one and only male of the house, hadn't been home?
So the police, understandably, became even more suspicious of Ronald, who had already been lacking in the emotion department since day one, shedding hardly a tear over the death of his own son. Like, what type of parent could not shed a tear for their own son dying? That's terrible. But not only that, but all floundering on which house he went to and pointing the fingers at the incorrect perp. Also, they noted his weird reaction when his family members didn't stay up for his eulogy and funeral song he had written and had been broadcasted on TV, appearing to be very upset they hadn't watched his performance. Ronald wasn't acting like a grieving father at all. He's acting like a selfish person, like it's me, me, me. Even though his son is dead, so it should be about his son.
Yep.
But,
So gross.
and that's why detectives began digging into Ronald O'Brien himself even deeper, and what they found was a whole lot of dirt swept under that rug. So Ronald, in the past, was drowning in massive amounts of debt, equating upwards to 100,000 USD. So he was also a suspected of theft at his current workplace. To make matters even stranger, Ronald had held over 21 jobs in the span of 10 years. That is shocking.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I think in the past 10 years, I mean, I do freelance work, as you know. Like, so I do switch jobs, but like job title, I've kept the same jobs for the past. I think maybe like I worked at a retail place and some restaurants and stuff, but never have I ever even worked
That's a
21
big.
jobs, let alone 21 jobs in a 10-year span. Like, I think I worked 4 different jobs in the span of 10 years.
I've
So,
worked only 2 in my life. And yeah, that's it. Like Xiao said in the chat, that is a big resume.
that huge.
Exactly.
Like, I wonder why he got let go. I'm gonna guess that he was accused of theft at all those other places. When I tried to look, it didn't really specify what happened.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything either on that.
Because 21 jobs is a huge. Well, back then they didn't really have background checks.
Yeah.
Neither did they really like check people for like references as much either, I guess. So it would be easy for somebody to skate under the radar with 21 jobs. To be fair, they don't really check these days very well either, because I have totally left jobs off of my, from like when I was younger, off of my job application or whatever, and nobody ever asked me any questions. I said, why didn't you tell us about this job? So I don't know that they really follow
Yeah,
people's
but also back in the
work history
day,
that crazy.
also back then, you ever got the technology they had back then was kind of compared to us caveman times
Yeah.
too. Like for me, I only held 2 jobs. One was making cotton candy for. Hold on, let me count the years.
Making cotton candy?
Yeah,
Like,
I worked at a fair and made cotton candy for 6 years, and then over the summer I became a personal trainer. So I've only had 2 jobs in my life.
that's cool, becoming a personal trainer. That sounds like a fun job.
Fun, but also crazy at the same time. But
Probably.
not as crazy as this case.
No, not as crazy as this case.
Exactly. But going on to even more stuff about Ronald, since Ronald was about to lose everything too, which I don't blame him for having to jump 21 jobs so much and being accused of stealing nonstop. Like he was about to lose his house, his car, and it seems like things were looking pretty ugly for an innocent family like that in the whole eyes of America back then for that family ideal look. But here's the crazy thing. The plot thickens even more, honey. In January what?
I said even more, and that's the sad part.
Yes, that's
It just gets
exactly.
worse. It just gets worse and worse.
It doesn't get better. Like it doesn't. I like reading this. It's like maybe it gets a bit better. No, it doesn't. Like
Not at all. And and I shouldn't be laughing, but like this case, when we both like went through, and I like went and did the bunch of research. We researched it and stuff. We sat down and we talked about it. We were just like, wow, this just snowballs and snowballs and snowballs.
it just baffles our mind. That's why we kind of do we had to like do a little giggle because it just, which we think nothing could get worse. Bam, hits us in the side.
Worse, but then there it is.
And here's the thing that gets worse. In January of that year, Ronald somehow convinced his wife, Danine, which we'll both probably say her name differently because no one knows the right way to say her name.
Like it's either Danine or Danine, but I said Danine because it's spelled that way, but I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah. That they need to put a life insurance on their kids. Not on them. Their kids. Which is red flag number, I think, 356 at that point now.
Right?
But luckily, at first, Danine objected, was saying it was morbid because these are kids. Why are you putting life insurance on kids? But somehow Ronald convinced her that it was just what families did. You know, we go out to get a picnic, have some food, rarely put life insurance on our kids. Do you know the American dream?
Right. I can't remember any of my friends or anything ever talking about like even in their adult life that have kids being like, yeah, I put a policy on my kid for this much money. Nobody does that.
Yeah,
Who does that?
The only time I've ever saw an incident of that being normalized, if this kid is like having so many health problems and stuff.
Yeah, if they're sick. Yeah. But not if they're a healthy kid.
Yeah, a healthy kid. Like I remember, I was put on life insurance because doctors told me when I was a wee little axolotl tadpole that I wasn't going to make it. But here I am, stronger than ever.
Jay. Hey Jay, thanks for coming in.
What up, Jay?
Sorry, I had to say hi to Jay. He's making it. He's coming in after his very important classes, just to hear us do our little show.
I know.
We appreciate you, Jay.
We love you, Jay.
We appreciate you. We love you.
Yes, we do love you, Jay. Can't wait to have you on here one day.
Heck yeah, we're gonna have 2 marine animals against 1 honey badger with chainsaw paws. I will take you both on, just not in Tetris, because apparently I'm not so.
Oh, I
I'm
suck
not
at
as good as Jay.
Tetris.
I'm
But
not as
no,
good as Jay. He beat the crap out of me.
me and Jay can just point and laugh at you. Say, hey, imagine needing lungs to breathe.
Well, do I really? Because I'm a demi. That's okay. That's a
That's
subject for another time.
That's a subject. But let's continue on this. How much life insurance has been put on these kids? Because back then, like even nowadays, it still astounds me of how much life insurance he did put on these kids, which was for both kids. He's in debt, 10K each, which is with how much debt is that of research we did. How is he able to put 10K on life insurance on these two kids?
Yeah, I'm not sure how he was able to manage to get the life insurance on them to begin with, since he was already so broke.
But here's a crazier thing. It gets more suspicious. A month. Oh, I want to say September, October. No, yeah, a month. September, October. Yeah, in a month, like in September, before Timothy's death, he upped it to 20K, which without the wife knowing, which is very, very suspicious.
Very suspicious. And I don't understand how, like, they cleared Danine completely.
Yes, I'm glad she was clear, because as a mother, like, if I was her, like, I'll be hurt that I will be suspected of being involved in murdering my own kids, because, like, a mother should love their kids no matter what.
They should. But as we both know, in true crime, that is not always the case.
Evil women of history on the ID channel be like.
But, yeah, like, I don't know how she didn't realize that he had upped the policies either. Like, it seems like Danine had no knowledge of the handling of the money in the house.
Yeah.
From the sounds of it.
Exactly, but you also gotta remember, not to sound like sexist or anything, but back in the day, the man ran everything, so the wife had no input. True. Not to sound.
We're talking about the 70s,
yeah.
So they were still in that misogynistic kind of ideals that was how it was handled.
Yeah, which is still crazy because, like, in my household nowadays, Mama Nudie was in charge of all the finances because at least Mama Nudie know what was up.
Right.
While Daddy Nudie, we don't talk much about Daddy Nudie. Because he was, if he had his way of being in charge of the finance, broke. But here's the crazier thing that Robert did even more, talking about daddies and all that stuff in the fatherly term. Robert didn't even wait for Timothy's body to even cool. Like, the body was still fresh, hot. Don't know why I describe a body like describing meat. But calling the insurance company, that, like, so soon. It was like, Timothy died on Thursday night, and that morning, the next morning at 9 a.m., he called the agency trying to cash in the 20K policy. Like,
to damn him even further.
Yes. Like, how can we damn him even more?
It gets worse. And, like, he didn't even wait for the body to cool. He didn't even wait for nothing. He just, not even that, but an acquaintance who met Ronald the summer before. So that means that this was way premeditated.
This is, like months.
This whole thing. Like, it gets worse. It's even worse because in January he had put the policy on the kids, and then September he adjusts it. But the summer before, he was asking an acquaintance some weird questions about a certain substance that was found in the killer confectionaries.
Are you saying cyanide?
Yep, cyanide. So he had been asking about what dosage was fatal. Not only that, but where he could score some of the bitter poison.
Okay, I just want to interject one thing. To score gore. It sounds like cyanide is a drug, but still, how, like, I don't even, like, even as a person, like a normal citizen, I don't even know how to get cyanide. So seeing how other people know how to get cyanide is, like, insane.
Well, apparently this guy worked for a chemical company. And he just happened to know him. But even then, like, that would have been a red flag for me as the friend, even if that was my area of expertise. Why are you asking me all these weird questions about how much would kill somebody? Or, what dosage was fatal? Like, why didn't anybody catch on then? But then, when you think that it can't get any more ridiculous, he'd apparently visited a chemical outlet in Houston just days before the murder and inquired about it as well.
Jeez.
And the worst part about this whole thing, and
how can it get worse? How can it get worse? Because he's already, this is the sloppiest killer I've ever seen so far.
It's super sloppy because he went in wearing the same lab coat uniform for his current place of work as an optician, and they recognized the uniform. The guy couldn't place his face, but he recognized the uniform. He recognized the lab coat. And Ronald actually left when they told him that the smallest amount he could buy was 5 pounds.
Wait, 5 pounds of cyanide?
Yeah, I don't understand why he left and didn't purchase from there. I don't know why. Maybe he thought 5 pounds wasn't enough, but
that's a lot!
I don't know.
Because it doesn't take that much to kill an adult human.
No, obviously not, because it was just like the first 2 inches of a giant pixie stick that was filled with the cyanide that killed Timothy and almost killed 4 other children.
Wait, wonder what I could think. Oh, sorry that I interrupted.
No, you're okay.
But, what I think is he was trying to find a smaller amount. Because maybe he was smart enough to know how much cyanide to kill someone, but he wanted to make sure he didn't have any left over in case he got, a search warrant.
Oh, right. Not anything left over, and I mean, if he's broke, he doesn't want to pay for a bunch of cyanide he's not going to use.
Exactly, since he's like over hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt at that point. Like in 1970s terms to now, that's probably like almost almost $500,000 nowadays, baby. If I'm doing my inflation,
I mean, that would be quite a big chunk of change. I don't think that like most of us would be able to deal with that kind of debt ourselves now.
But I might as well just sell my entire body at that point if I wasn't that much debt.
I'm selling my body to science, ma'am. You are not dead yet. I
might as well be.
I said what I said.
Well, that was dead. I might as well be dead.
Right? And then he also, I guess, was attending a community college locally and had asked his professors weird questions about the lethality of cyanide. So
this man was in college?
Yeah, he was in college. I can't find really what he was in college for, but I would imagine it has something to do with his opticians stuff that he was doing. But he was in community college, and he even asked them about it. And
that's even more suspicious. Like
Ronald O'Brien was just so sloppy, and that carelessness is what completely did him in.
With how sloppy he is, it should like what's crazy is, like, I know we talked about this off stream and stuff, so we get to just somewhat talk about. I know we said it still shocks me that he was in college and asked his professors about this. Like, bruh, stop. But luckily, a warrant was finally approved and executed, and the police received a pair of scissors from the home with traces of cyanide in it. So the man didn't even clean the scissors.
Nope.
They even cleaned the scissors that he had used to open the pixie sticks to fill the tips with the deadly poison. Not only that, but the police found a registered tape with all of the bills scattered onto a sheet of paper, and the amount which was totaling to a sum of he would receive if his 2 kids will die. Like, what? So much evidence. But luckily, Ronald Clark O'Brien was arrested for the murder of his own son on November 5th, 1974. Disturbing his friends and neighbors who have never thought Ronald would be capable of something so sinister, especially not to one of his own kids. God, I can never imagine being a parent hurting your own kids. That is insane.
The crazy part is that it happens way more than people want to admit. But as humans that are, like,
Oh, hey,
sane-
Jay. Wait, 100K in 1970 would be 600K today. Oh, so
Yeah,
it
we were
was.
so close.
We were so close. Thank you, Jay, for that.
Yeah, he said it in my chat too, but like I didn't want to interrupt you in the middle. But yes, we were really close. That was
Yeah.
good math.
Thank you for hopping
Quick
over and
maths.
telling me, Jay. I'm glad
Yes.
you clarified. At least we were close. We were very close, so that's what I'm proud of. Not
Yeah.
saying we should be proud because we're talking about, this man on our screen murdering his child. But hey.
And that was some quick maths.
Yeah, that was quick math. I suck at math. The only good thing about math I am is with angles. Oops, I made a typo. 700K. Still close.
Still close.
But
Still close.
But what's crazy to me, like I said before, the only thing that I'm good at math is angles because of my major I'm in with criminal justice. And of course, me being a detective, I need to know the angle of a gun being shot at and or the angle of stabbing, or where an object has entered someone. So it's still crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you're Gigabrain, Jay. Just want to say that to you. But luckily, the jury is as Gigabrain as Jay. The jury of his peers found him guilty less than an hour. That is a quick jury sentence. Singing stuff. Because, it's less than an hour of deliberation on June 3rd, 1975. Awarding Ronald Clark O'Brien the death penalty by electric chair for his crime. Denis also filed divorce, which this is just understandable. I want to divorce that man too.
I would have divorced that man the day of. I would have been like, "Yep, I'm putting in the papers right now."
But also at the same
Right
time, no one would suspect this. At the
true.
time, normal citizen of the community that has been helping out so much. Now we know he's this monster.
That part is, it's always the nice guy. It seems like when you go through these. I mean, but that's the nature of killers. Is that they mask so well and they blend in so well.
Yeah, which is
So-
crazy.
It's great. It is crazy.
But hey, let's look at it like this. Even though they've proven it was Ronald who done it, was crazy. Even though I just said that already. Ronald never confessed. He never confessed, proclaiming that it was all a mistake. He was innocent. He was indeed innocent. Oh, look at me. I am innocent. Normally I try to say, by ignoring this, but this is our first episode. But bruh, if you're going... all the evidence points to you. You didn't clean the evidence, so stop saying that you're innocent. Just admit your guilt.
Yeah, 'cause at that point, I mean, I hate it when murderers and such get away with plea bargains and stuff. But if I were a killer at that point and I was so deep in the paint, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I would definitely just be like, listen, all right, I fucking did it. Let's get on with the plea bargain so I don't die.
Yeah.
Which he didn't do.
But hey, what's even crazier with all this stuff, him pleading innocent, all that. Oh, welcome back, Chief. Is he appealed his sentence in 1979, and over several other times, even going as far as the Supreme Court, which I am shocked. that it got to the Supreme Court. But luckily, they're all quickly denied. One of the judges, presiding over his appeal, claimed the crime was too horrendous, which I don't blame him. A father murdering his child over health insurance. For health insurance to get out of debt. That's crazy. But he not only tried to murder his own son, but his daughter and 3 other kids too. It's crazy. But hey, it's all to divert, like, the 3 innocent kids that are not even his kids that he's bringing into. Sorry that I keep on, like, stopping it going, but it's like, it's crazy. My mind can't fathom this. But it's to divert suspicion off of him. He was going to risk 3 other children that were innocent.
Yep. His neighbor and the one kid from the church. And
Yeah.
that's terrible too, is that he knew all these kids, they were all friends with his kids, and then he was willing to sacrifice not only his own kids but other people's kids as well in order to save himself from this debt. And for some reason he thought that he was just going to get away scot-free with it.
I know, but gosh, but proclaiming that a man like him that didn't deserve to walk free, like, yeah, he does not deserve to be walk free at all. Like in our next slide, I am shocked that an inmate, I don't know what they're playing that game on his.
They're playing dominoes. Like, he was allowed to play dominoes. He was allowed to do lots of things in jail, which kind of upsets me, honestly.
I'm surprised one inmate decided to play a game with him. Because, like,
Yeah, in this day and age, people would
Well,
just beat the crap out of
or
you
beat you to
and or kill
death.
you in jail.
Exactly. Like, I still remember. I know this is like going off topic one bit, but Bill Cosby. They bullied the hell out of Bill Cosby when he was put into jail.
He deserved it.
Exactly. But back on topic, I just want to say that for an example of how our times are different back from then to now. Times are different.
People were a lot more calmer back then about stuff.
Yeah. But on March 31st, 1984, Ronald was executed by lethal injection because the electric chair had been since deemed, cruel and inhumane. After, which is like understandable, but if you're going to do something that horrendous, in my honest opinion, normally I don't say this, don't do an eye for an eye, never fight fire with fire, but at this point, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
No, this is definitely some place where Hammurabi's code honestly applies.
Yeah, but but here's the thing, he was dining on for his last meal, he was dining on a well done steak and a Boston cream pie. Like, an almost cruel reminder that even in death, Ronald was allotted much more kindness than he given his own son, who he had viciously sacrificed in an attempt to save his own hide. That is terrible. That he treated him better with a last meal. Like, I could understand, yeah, you have to give an inmate his last meal to be humane. Yeah. But life could be a cruel mistress by treating someone much better than the victim.
Yeah, his son didn't even have, the luxury. Like, his son's death happened very quickly, but it was also very, like, dying from cyanide is a very painful death.
Oh, and yeah.
For this guy to not only kill his son and then just, like, live for the next 10 years, like, in the jail, doing stuff like playing dominoes and stuff to pass the time or whatever.
Yeah,
it just seems cruel and unusual to the family, the rest of the family, to know that this guy didn't, to me, he didn't suffer in any way, because it's obvious he didn't feel any remorse. He He would never admit that he even did anything wrong.
Yeah,
So
like
there was
in
no
this
remorse to be had.
yeah, with the picture that we have here.
Yeah.
Yes, he's had. It was nice and calm for him in prison. No no like suffering or anything. And to answer your question from Shechioff, the last meal is a normal thing, but like I know it's a normal thing and stuff, but like in the eyes of the public, like how we're looking at it, even though I'm a detective, it's kind of a cruel thing because he was rewarded much more luxury than the child. But
Yeah.
but here's what's even crazier: his last words to there was people gather up because there's always an audience for the execution of someone with lethal injection, but his last words uh were, "What is about to transpire in a few moments is wrong. I would forgive all who have taken part in any way in my death." At 12:48 a.m., he took his last breath to the cheers of the people waiting outside. Ronald God, had something in my throat. But Ronald was a truly disgusting, cowardly man, to say the least, maintaining his innocence to the bitter end. The prime example of a man unhinged who put his own livelihood over the lives of his family. Luckily, since then, the Need had since remarried, and Elizabeth had grown up, having a family of her own, doing the best to put the boogeymen that ruined their lives behind them and starting anew, which I don't blame them. They need to forget that. But that is crazy what his last words were. I will forgive those who taken part in my death, and what's happening to me is wrong.
Right. It's a very cocky, very in your face kind of statement to make.
It's a spit in the face.
It is a spit in the face, and I'm sure that he knew exactly what he was doing and saying, and he was mad at the end that he didn't end up with it the way that he wanted, and
like
that
all
he ended up losing his
killers.
life. Oh yeah, I can't remember very many that do get the death penalty that actually apologize at the end. It's usually something really shitty said, like John Wayne Gacy. I think "kiss my ass" was the last thing that he said before he died. So a lot of them either say something nasty or just tell you that you're wrong or stuff like that, even though it's been proven without a shadow of a doubt at that point. Usually, like, I'm not going to say that cases in America do not happen where people are blamed for things that they didn't do or evidence.
Oh,
hasn't
it's
been
all over
planted.
the world.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I've noticed that in our country, at least, like, there is a lot of cases where people get fingered for the wrong things. They weren't really involved in them because, like, it's easier. I don't know why here, but it seems to be easier for people to get away with planting evidence and stuff due to corruption and stuff like that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it was a spit in the face, honestly, to the family at the end. And maybe that, I would imagine that was intentional. A spit in the face to everybody because he just didn't get what he wanted. Like, it was, this man's obviously somebody that is psychopathic, sociopathic, that didn't really care about the other people around him, because in order to have that lack of remorse and to be so cocky in doing it and so just careless. I mean, like, is it that he's just, my question is, in this case, is he psychotic or is he really stupid? And
that will
the
be
last words make you question that, because the last words sound very cocky.
Yeah.
Like,
my theory is he's a mixture of both. Because he knew what he was doing, it's just how to execute it, he had no idea. Because he's smart of coming up with a plan like this, but the way he executed it was not right.
well, I mean, I think that in his mind he had a solid plan, like you said. Like the
Mm-hmm.
planning in his head was probably solid, but then, like you said, when he actually went out, like, and asked people about things and stuff like that. Given we didn't have the internet back then and stuff like that, and at this point you would be put on an FBI watch list.
FBI, open
I
up.
yeah, I know. I don't know how with the stuff that I write, like the horror stuff that I write and stuff. I need to know stuff like that, like how much cyanide kill someone, or how much of this does this, or what does this? How does a guillotine work? Shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I would be surprised if I'm not on a list of some sort at some point. Like, but he didn't have that, so that made it even easier for people to be able to come forward with that information and be like, I recognize that guy and he said this. So he wasn't really smart. It wasn't like he like tried to cover up anything that he did, which in the end makes no sense unless he was so cocky. Like I said, he's either so cocky
I think it
that he thought he
was.
would just get away with it, or he's that stupid.
I think he's just
So
hella cocky.
he could have been. He could have been. See, but everybody regards him as a very nice, very well put together person, and nobody would have ever like thought, even his wife would have never thought that he would do something like this. Um
Yeah, someone who's so
so
nice, help out the community and stuff. It shows that there's always a monster in anyone. We just don't know
yep,
who will show their true colors.
exactly. Anybody can be a monster. And
Yeah,
that's what's scary, honestly, if you think about it. Like anybody could be a monster. Your next door neighbor, the guy
like
at
how I discovered my next door
grocery
neighbor.
store. Yeah, right. Your next door neighbor and their crap. Oh gosh. Again, once we figure out what exactly happened
We'll do
there,
like an up, like we'll like fit it in somewhere.
yeah, we can fit in an
It'll be
episode
like
somewhere
it'll be
when
like a
we have
short
everything.
thing. We'll do like a dual episode on that. Like have our long case that we're talking about, and then just have this as short because there ain't much to talk about with how
That you know of.
that I know of. But for what I know that I know so far is dude did not like some people. He killed 5 people in a town that was 3 hours away, and the person that hit him was a football player at the university that hit him. So he got suspended off of the football team for because he was arrested on hindering prosecution to the first degree, which is basically hiding someone that has done a serious crime.
Right. So like aiding and abetting.
Mm-hmm. It's just a more formal way of saying that.
Yeah.
It's crazy because like with this case, like we already said before, it like you don't know what person because this dude, everyone knows how this. Oh, he's so sweet. He's nice. He helps the community out. Yada yada, and then boom, he's known for
Right.
stealing from his work. Had to jump through 21 jobs, which is that has to be a Guinness record for something.
In 10 years. Yeah.
Yes,
That's
in
a
10
lot of
years.
jobs.
That has to be a Guinness record. And being that much in depth to equivalent to how our friend Jay say 700K, which is to nowadays it's
So almost $1 million.
yeah, almost a million. Like getting that much in debt, the only way I could ever see anyone getting that much in debt if they came from a very rich lifestyle, going to a new type of lifestyle that is lower. 21 jobs in 10 years is like a job every 6 months. Jay over here with the math. Exactly.
Yay! Look at you. Quick maths.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's still insane with the amount. Because at that point, even in the 1970s, that had to look suspicious. Because you have to put down your jobs and stuff. Because they do
The
some sort of
problem with that,
background.
though, the problem with this is that before this case, and what really sucks about this case in particular, because I like to and to know what happened to the killer before to know about their childhood, there is literally zero information
Oh yes, we look
on
so.
Ronald Clark O'Brien
His
and his
status,
upbringing,
status.
how him and Danine met. There's nothing.
Nothing. We literally looked so hard. I think we spent like what 2 days looking for that.
Yeah,
So
just for that, we were looking just for that part. With like, where did he come from? Who are his parents? Where did he grow up? Were his parents abusive? Was were they not? Like, we tried to look for that because we were trying to, in cases like this where the killer is a parent and the parent is killing their children, it makes you wonder whether or not
what their
their
childhood is
parents,
like.
yeah, exactly, whether or not their parents had been nasty and vicious to them and abusive, but there's just nothing.
Nothing. Like we made the joke that he came into this world just as an adult man right off the back.
And then I sent him the pic. I don't know which one of you watches Saturday Night Live,
It's
but
been
there
so
is
long
this.
since I watched Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, there's this bit from like the 2000s or 90s, so that's dating myself. But anyway, where Will Ferrell uh is birthed as like a full blown just like grown man, and I sent him a gif of that. Just
Oh god, I was literally talking to my professor when I saw that, and I was laughing. And my professor was like, "What's going on?" So my professor knows that I'm starting this crime podcast with you. So
oh yay! What does he think about it?
uh I have no idea. Yeah, because they told me hey just send me the YouTube link whenever you upload it to YouTube, and I'll give it a watch and see if
Oh,
my
that's
teeth,
cool.
because this person taught me since my first year of college, which was I'm in my 5th year now, so like 4 years
Right.
ago and all that. So it's like, so they just want to see if their teaching has made me smart in this field. Which I think so, because if I was doing this back when I was like first going into college into my degree and all, I would be like, yes, words. But now since I know all these crime terms and all that, it's just crazy. Now,
Yeah.
it like my eyes are
Yeah.
open more.
I hope that even though there's been some silliness during the podcast, a little bit here and there, that they see that you've learned quite a bit.
Well, we
From
kind of need
them.
to add a tiny bit of silliness, because like this is such a morbid case. Father kills child because of to basically commit insurance fraud at this point.
Yeah,
Basically, that's how we can sum this
insurance
up.
fraud. Yeah, it's
But
insurance fraud, but like
with
normally when somebody does insurance fraud, it's like burning down a house,
not murdering
killing
someone
your child or something like
and
that.
bringing 3
but-
other innocent kids into it too to cover it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
It's-
so he, to me, the fact that he was able to do this not only to his kids but to try to do it to other kids tells me that he definitely had some mental stuff going on.
Oh,
And
100%.
probably was masking very well, which is why he fit in so well. But that he probably didn't feel any emotions or very little emotions himself for other human beings other than himself.
Not wanting to like throw a name thing at him. Did he have like a gambling or drug problem? No, we have not seen anything on that unless you've seen something about it.
No, I didn't see anything about that.
Yeah.
It just seemed like they didn't really specify what the debt or where the debt,
Because this case
came
was so old. Like it's like a case this old. We're going to try to find as much as we can so we can give out the information as best as possible, but it's so hard to find. Like I think we like what it took us like 2 weeks in total to look for everything.
Yeah, and like 2 days, like we said, we spent like at least 2 days just trying to figure out whether or not his family, if there was some sort of nature versus
trying
nurture
to make
type of aspect to it.
Jay, I'm trying to make a connection to the dead, but I would argue some sort of heavy personality disorder, but this is just a hunch. Yeah, I'm thinking of personality disorder or what's that one term? A sociopath. He may be like a sociopath too, if I'm using my thanks right.
Antisocial. If he's talking about antisocial personality disorder, is very possible in this case. There's only like a very small difference between a psychopath and a sociopath, honestly. So usually they get lumped underneath, or correct me if I'm wrong, but usually they get lumped underneath the disorder of antisocial personality disorder at this point. Because psychopath and sociopath was actually coined by the FBI back when what is his name? I'm talking about it, and the name escapes me. But the guy that started the branch for basically the serial killer division, they kind of came up with those sorts of terms with the help of a psychiatrist that was working with them at the time.
Yeah.
As well as with serial killers, because when it first all started with serial killers, which is studying serial killers is how a lot of things have been figured out with like personality disorders and stuff. They didn't have a lot of terms for stuff like that because I mean we were still in the dark ages of mental health.
Yeah,
So
I still say that like we're kind of getting into like we're like in the golden age, I will say, because we're like talking about like people are talking about their mental health more and trying to get help for it more, because back in the day you never really talk about that, or you'll be deemed as a crazy. So that's
right.
why like stuff like that really don't get talked about that much, because I still remember one of my professors back in the day, she was dealing with anorexia, but back then, if she tried to look for help, she would be known as a crazy. So she always had to deal with it on her own. But nowadays, like, if someone comes out and says, "Hey, I'm anorexic, I want to get help," everyone will try to hop on and try to help that person as
Yeah,
much as possible.
there's a lot of stigma still, but like it's a lot better than it was.
That's why I say, like, we're kind of like into the golden age of talking about mental health. As a mental health professional, we're not at the golden age yet, but we're doing much better nowadays compared to 10 to. All right. What type of age
Yeah,
would
I
you
was gonna
call it?
say that this is not the golden age because there's still a lot of stigma behind
Yeah.
anybody getting any sort of help, especially men. Men,
Yeah.
especially, getting help is frowned upon because of
Yeah, I
misogynistic
didn't mean to.
viewpoints.
Yeah, golden age is what popped in my head. It's like the in between of like the dark age and golden age. It's like that middle ground.
We're in a progression,
Yeah, progress. I
definitely.
say a progression age. Let's just call it that, a progression
Yeah.
age.
So,
Thanks for correcting me on that, Jay.
He was saying that the essential feature of antisocial personality disorder is a pervasive pattern of disregard for and violation of the rights of others that begins in childhood or early adolescence and continues into adulthood. And this pattern has also been referred to as psychopathy, sociopathy, or dissocial personality disorder. And that's the modern definition. So I was very, very close. Um, Good. I'm glad that I was close because I do a lot. I do a lot of research into this stuff, so I'm glad that I was giving out the right information
Yeah,
here
I'm glad you
or
are.
confirming that.
For my
Um,
for me, my research, like when it comes to like things like this, it's mainly of how the killer did it, the way they go at it, because that's my degree of field I'm studying in, since I'm just studying the homicide field.
right. So you
So
do a little bit of forensic psych, which is the field that I wanted to go into.
yeah, but I don't stay in the lab. I actually go out and like look for the clues. Then
Right.
while you're the one, like, you're behind the lab, and I give you what I found, be like, here you go, help
Right.
me
And
with murder.
then my job, if I had gone that route, would have been to piece together a composite of who I thought would do something like that. That's basically a forensic psych's job is to
Yeah, a
compile
portfolio.
a a portfolio and present it and be like, this is the kind of person that would do this. This is who I think that would do this based on this, this, and this. So yeah. Um, which is cool. I think it's cool that you want to be a detective and be in homicide. It's a hard division to be in, that's for sure.
Yeah, it
Um,
is, but I have, because of all, like it's easy, like you said, it's kind of hard, but with a degree, it's easy to get in. But the other reason it's hard is because of all the mental stuff you'll be seeing, which,
right.
for
It is
me,
mentally taxing.
yeah, it's mentally taxing. But from the stuff I've been to, which, oh, I won't get into my childhood that much, but I've seen and dealt with worse.
You've seen some shit. We get it.
Yeah,
I've seen some shit. You've seen some shit, and I think that that's what made me want to be a forensic psych in the beginning. And now, instead of doing that, I write horror stories and murder novels and mystery novels and stuff like that, which is I just diverted a bit from it. Now I don't do, I'm not into that whole, the logistics side, the dealing with actual cases, rather than like using cases to create other crimes and things. But but
exactly.
in order to do those things, you do have to have knowledge of psychology. You do have to have knowledge of criminology and
Oh,
forensics and stuff like that.
thanks for
So,
the sub.
well, right, because
See,
if I write a book and I don't know what I'm talking about, then people are going to be like, "Wow, this person has really no idea what they're talking about, and this is crap." So, but yeah,
it's yeah, it's very very it's very crazy. But also, I want to thank Xiao for gifting a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. But back on like subject is after me saying that. Yeah, it's for me like in my life, I being working with dealing with serial killers and all that was always seemed cool to me and stuff. But my main goal of wanting to do stuff in life is just to help people in general. Like, hey, like at me VTubing stuff, I want to try to get big enough so I can host as many charity streams as I can and help out charities, which could be helping someone else. So that's
yeah,
like that's my main thing I want to do. So that's why but always like crime because my grandfather he was a pro wrestler axolotl, but then when he retired, he became a cop axolotl and helped
what?
change.
A pro wrestler axolotl.
Yeah, I came from a pro wrestling family.
That is funny. Did I ever? I told you, I think that before I became a writer and all that, and even before I had considered forensics actually my secondary dream. My first dream was to be in wrestling for like WWF.
Oh boy, that's kind of like my mama axolotl. Thank God she bonked me on the head and set me straight. But I didn't even want to come to college. I wanted to go to a wrestling school to become a pro wrestler.
Wrestling school is hard. Wrestling
Yeah,
school is hard work.
that's why I'm
And
glad I'm in college because in case that doesn't work out, I have a backup.
yeah.
But
Wait, whoa, wait. So you're going to college. Wait, slow down. Slow down now. Because this is something new that I didn't know. So, wait, you still want to wrestle. You're
yes,
still working on wrestling
why I think
while
I've been
going to
hitting the
college.
yes. Why I think I've been hitting the gym so much and became a personal trainer.
Well, I just thought that you just wanted to bulk up. I didn't realize that you want to be a pro wrestler. You better go for AEW. Don't go for WWE.
that
WWE is awful.
that or New Japan.
I used to love WWE, WWF. Well, it was WWF when I was growing up, and then I know we're getting a bit off topic now. We'll
Yeah.
segue back, but um, I used to be a huge fan, but then like Vince just threw it in the
Yeah.
toilet with the
Which
PG era.
which
It,
sucks and all. That's why I like NXT. But speaking of adding a segue back into the murder, I just thought of another case we could talk about.
another case. We have
It
so many ideas for
it.
cases
But
to
here's the
talk
thing.
about.
It's the it's dealing with pro wrestling. you got the Chris Benoit incident.
Oh, that incident broke my heart.
And
And the
then
reason why is because uh little Miss Honey Badger here, as I was training for wrestling, I was modeling my movesets off of Chris Benoit because there were no female technical wrestlers. I wanted to be a wrestler that wasn't into the bra and panty matches in the mud wrestling and all that. I wanted to be taken seriously, and I actually studied Chris Benoit a lot. I studied Stone Cold a lot, even though he wasn't really a technical wrestler. I liked his type of wrestling as well, but uh, definitely Chris Benoit was like one of the biggest influences in how I wanted to wrestle. And when that all happened, I was floored. That whole thing was just, it's another case of how can you kill your own child and your wife, but how can you kill your own child?
yeah, and then but another pro wrestling murder case I thought of. It was like, I'm trying to remember the name, but it was a disagreement that ended in a murder of a wrestler named it was an old wrestler. God, I'm trying to remember the name. It'll pop in my head one day. I'll text you whenever it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many cases. But I know two cases that are big that we're definitely going to be talking about later into our podcasting time when there's more info is the Gabby case.
Oh, Gabby Petito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to butcher
Gabby
the last
Petito
name.
And, yeah, it's Petito. And then
Christian.
Brian Laundries.
Yeah.
And that whole thing is just, and that's why I said to you that I didn't want to. We're not going to go into it very
Until
much
there's
tonight,
more info
but
is out
yeah,
on
until
it.
there's more info, we didn't want to do a jump on the episode like a lot of true crime podcasts and true crime shows are doing. Like, there's already a special for Gabby Petito for the Discovery
Which I
slash
don't think they should have done
whatever
that this
channel.
early.
No, because they did it even before Brian was found. Weeks before Brian was found.
Yeah.
So we have no information here, but I will say this, and this is just my opinion. There is something funky with that Laundries family, and that's how I feel about it. But if I'm wrong, I will correct myself later.
Like a good person should. Cough, cough, most internet personality. But anyway, in another case, it's something I've actually have personal connections with, is the Christian case.
Yes, the Christian case when we get more information.
Yeah. It should be this upcoming month. We're supposed to be getting the trial now.
Supposedly, and that has just been a clusterfuck from the beginning.
Because
oh god.
Because funny enough, the reason I say I had a personal connection because I've actually talked to Christian before.
Ooh, you talked to Christian before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In a polite way when I got older, but I had 2 interactions with him in my life. So I'll talk about those whenever we talk about that because, gotta leave the mystery up, including towards my beautiful co-host.
Do. Yeah.
But yeah, those are like future stuff that were just thrown out. But again, going back on this case now after we derailed a good bit up. But yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, which is good because this podcast, most podcasts basically derail stuff, but we're still talking about the topic of murder and all, and still being on subject. But yeah, But hey, now you know. I got hair in my mouth. Sorry for that. But now we know where all the whole hey, always check your candy for thing. Because I still remember when you told me about the Candyman killer. There was another Candyman killer that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I sent her the wrong info because she's like, because Honey was like, I don't want to burst your excitement of how you found this stuff, but this is the wrong Candyman. I was like, wrong Candyman? There's another Candyman? And then that's how I figured out about this case.
Yeah. Dean Coral. Which is a very, very vicious and more brutal case than this one. to be honest. And I didn't think that it didn't really encompass Halloween, and I didn't think that it would be a good one to start with because it's very brutal. Um, so that in that case, we will probably talk about in the future. I would imagine
Maybe
it was a
next
big
Halloween.
case. Yeah, it was a big case around the same time that John Wayne Gacy had his case, if I remember correctly. In fact, I believe that he is the one that people are now claiming, and I could be wrong. Let me just look this up real quick so I don't misquote. People think that John Wayne Gacy and him were actually friends.
To be honest,
Yep, it is him. Dean Coral and the Killer Clown. There was a whole thing done on them with the Discovery. I think it was Discovery Channel. It was Discovery Channel or Paramount or something.
I think it
They
was
did a
Discovery
whole
because Discovery owns the ID channel.
yeah. So there is this connection they think between the two of them, and they think that they just had missed it in that time period, and they've been trying to uncover whether or not they actually knew each other or if it was just coincidence that they both targeted young boys and they both ended up burying them and they both ended up, like there's a lot of
It's so many.
similarities.
Yeah, it maybe that'll be. Well, of course that'll be one thing we go to talk about too. Maybe
I mean,
together.
that could be a twofer. That could be a two, like a two different episodes, honestly, or
This,
a couple, because we could do each
yeah,
one of their cases and then compare the cases.
yeah. Which I can't believe what I almost said. I was like the dynamic duo case because they're so
Dual
similar.
case.
Because they're
They
so
are.
similar.
They really are. So that's why they think now that they probably knew each other. Because they even took, if I remember correctly from the episodes, some of their victims were taken from similar areas too. Because there were certain districts that were considered quote unquote gay districts,
Mm-hmm.
um, that they were taking their victims from. So they think that they did know each other, which is crazy if you think about it, because that means that those two, even though they were separate serial killers and had their own thing, they were like serial killer buddies. Could you imagine two serial killers just being like rubbing, like a serial killer club, like rubbing elbows, being like giving tips? Like that's insane to me. Like
That's
I
what the
know some
dark web is
people work
for.
together. The dark web, God, oh God, a whole episodes could be done about the dark
Oh,
web
don't get me
because there's
started.
crazy things that happen on the dark web.
Trust me, I know about some crazy stuff on the dark web.
Yeah, once I got into true crime really hard and wanted to be a forensic person and stuff like that, it's crazy the things that you can just find on the dark web. There are, for example, forms where cannibals openly ask people to donate their bodies to them so they can eat them and
Or
stuff like that. It's
there's
crazy.
or cannibal cookbooks of what type of body type, and what type of race is good for cooking and to serve as meals.
It's insane. It's
It's
actually insane. Like because we as human beings like to have that feeling of like safety, and like most of
and
us would never
control.
think of anything like that we would do like this. Like when we hear stuff like this, it's completely shocking to those of us that are considered quote unquote normal.
And that could be
And
this that could be a discussion whenever we have Jay on. Since he's
oh
a
yeah, Jay
psych.
could be totally in on that one. He would probably have a field day with that one.
Yeah. You could teach a class, aka to the two students, me and you. But hey, let's look at the bright side. I'm glad Halloween's a lot safer now than it is back then.
Definitely, but even like
I
years
but
later.
there's still like small cases of tampering, like razor blades and all that stuff.
Well, actually, I went through and I looked,
Are you
and
telling me the razor blade thing has been a myth this entire time and I just
yeah, it's a
believed
myth.
it?
It's a myth because
Okay.
Timothy O'Brien's murder, there's really not been any similar incidents since. And a lot of what you do here is wives' tales based off of Timothy O'Brien's death. It really has no founding. Should we still check people's candy and stuff? Of course we should.
Oh,
Because
100%.
it happened
What do you think
once,
this
you know?
story we just told is? Basically, at the beginning, we literally said, or quote unquote, I said, for the love of God, please check your kids' candy so it's not to make sure that's been tampered with. Along the lines of that, I said, because honestly, like as a kid, I would never think that, but now I'm an adult. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, we
exactly.
gotta
Now it's
check,
like,
cause like
we better check, yeah,
Mhm.
because you never know. You never know.
in the
Just like you have to check playgrounds now, because this is true thing that happened near me. People were putting razor blades on monkey bars and shit like that.
mine was barbed
And
wire.
yeah, the people do crazy things to kids, and you don't hear about it until you're older because parents. Well, I mean, parents will tell you got to be careful, you got to be safe, and don't talk to strangers, and don't do that, and don't do that. But you don't hear any of the gruesome stuff that happens till you get older, usually. And some of the things that I've heard since I became an adult badger have been really just awful. Like things that I would never have thought that people would do to a child. They've all been done. You know what I mean? So you
Yeah,
just got to be careful.
that's understandable. Like recently with my family and stuff, we discovered a family member has been doing some has some dark, well, I should say some skeletons in the closet that we discovered, and now we're trying to be like, okay, let's try to get them the mental health they're needing. But one family member that's in charge of the child that has a skeleton in their closet is refusing for the help, and he's the sole caregiver. So we're like, okay, this is gonna
Oh,
be
that's
some loopholes.
awful.
So
That's awful.
yeah, it's understandable. Like as a kid, it's like you think everything's all simple, black and white and all that, but as an adult, nothing's black and white. Everything is gray. Shit's gray. It's like seeing through a
everything's
dog. It's like seeing through a dog's vision. Shit's gray.
Everything is gray. Actually, that I believe that was disproven not to poop in your cornflakes. But
I know, but it's a good example.
Dogs see color.
Yeah, but let's just. But it's still an analogy to use because it was used back then before it was disproven. But
It is. I just wanted to razz on you because I.
oh, I know you want to razz on me, like how I'll razz on you back. But my main razzing is whenever we play Dead by Daylight, where I can just flex on you.
Oh my god, flex on me so hard. I still can't play killer very well. I haven't played in a long time though. So.
I've recently got back into it. Like right now, I'm doing a sub goal. If I could get to 15 subs, someone just get this sub. So I need 3 more subs, and I'm going to be wearing a maid dress for a week and playing as Pinhead for a week. So there's.
Oh my god, that'd be so cool.
So there's my little advertisement. So if anyone wants to help me get to that goal, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Wink, wink, wink.
Help me.
Somebody get that axolotl to 3 subs.
3 more
I want to
subs.
see him wearing a maid dress.
Playing as Pinhead. But yes.
That would be amazing.
Exactly. So yeah. That's my little self-promote advertisement since we're basically at the end now.
Yeah, we are at the end.
Which for our first episode, I think it's gone very, very well.
It did go very, very
I was
well.
nervous the entire time.
I was definitely nervous the entire time too, but I am super glad that it went as well as it did, and I had a lot of fun.
And we finally have one project go on.
Yeah, if any of you, I don't know if Sam has a box on his Twitter, but I do. I have a little box on my not Twitter, my Twitch. I have a little box of like suggestions. You can drop me suggestions either on we have I started a hashtag for Whispers from the Deep. So if you have any like suggestions for for crimes that you want us to check out,
Hit
like episodes to do stuff on, you can hit us up either on Twitter or like on Twitch and let us know what you think.
AK for me, hit me up on Twitter because that's where I am most of the time on Twitter. Because I did not think of a suggestion box. You're like 4 steps ahead of me, while I'm over here just looking for the crimes and finding videos, pictures, and more info.
Oh, I've had the suggestion box open so people can like suggest games that they'd like to see too. But
for me, whenever it comes to suggest games, that's why I just do a poll on Twitter because I think
that's what I did for Spooky Month. But then Spooky Month kind of got hindered when I broke my ass, literally.
Literally. But hey, at least you got one Spooky Month thing done. This podcast.
I did get one Spooky Month thing done, and I did do my birthday stream. But since you did a little self promo, I'm gonna do a little.
Do your self promo. Which also
promo.
Actually, wait. Before you do your self promo, let me do one thing for on your side of your thing. You should totally follow me on Twitch. Let me wait. Hold on. Let's put up the ending things for our PowerPoint.
Let's put up the ending. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Here's our Twitch and stuff. So shameless self promo for me. I'm trying to get to the sub goal. I just need 3 more subs now. To be in a major and to do Pinhead Week, but also I play a lot of horror games and multiplayer games and basically all sorts of games. So that's my Twitch channel and now doing this podcast. But I'm also a shit poster. I'm very chaotic and loud, and I get bullied a lot by my own Twitch chat because of me accidentally calling someone mummy by accident.
That's funny.
But that is me. I am the great detective axolotl Sam Nudie. Now, off to you.
And if you want to follow him on Twitter, it's Twitter/Sam Nudie without the underscore. So if you want to follow his Twitter, you can follow him there as just Sam Nudie without the underscore.
Yeah.
My shameless self promo is that since I missed all of Spooky Month, which is my favorite month, we are moving. I'm still gonna stream probably what's today, Wednesday. I'm still gonna stream probably tomorrow. I'm not streaming on Friday, but we'll get to why in a second.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say too.
Yeah,
it slipped my mind, but yeah, I'll be canceling my Friday stream because of the same reasoning.
Yes. So I will not be streaming Friday. But when we move into November, guess what, kids? Guess what, you crazy cats and kittens?
Don't be shit! Don't be! What's her name? Was it Carol?
Carol
Baskin. Don't be Carol Baskin.
Husband, whack.
But also, I almost said cool cats.
You do, and every time you say cool cats, I think, hey, all you cool cats and kittens, my name's Carol Baskin.
But that comes up, or I don't know if you heard about this YouTube drama, but it's the whole this movie called Cool Cats Adventure and stuff, and the director is unhinged.
No, I don't. You'll have to inform me.
Okay, I'll inform you. I'll send you all the links because it's hard to describe because of how chaotic it is. But I'll send you a video that helps describe it better than I will ever do because that man is unhinged.
Yeah. But
But that time for self promo.
Yeah, moving into November, we're gonna do Spookvember, and also because I missed, which I already planned on doing that, but I'll announce it now. I'm going to be doing what I'm going to lovingly call Nightmare Before Christmas, which is also going to encompass Christmas-related horror games. So, Spookvember, which is we're gonna pretend that the missing of October never happened. The big old incident of me breaking my tailbone.
Just think of her missing up the month of October is to fill in for me with my spooky month. Just think of it like that.
I possess Sam, and I've been playing as him this whole time. But even more important than my shameless self-promo, even more important...
I feel sorry for you being in my body.
...is Snoo with honey is dangerous. snoo snoo.
Oh no!
I wish
No.
that it had been a snoo snoo related incident that caused this. I wish I could lie to you and say
Or
that
you
is
threw it
how
back too
my
hard.
tailbone. Yeah, I threw it back so hard that I cracked my tailbone. No, that's not what happened. I totally fell down the stairs like a goober. But the most important thing to end this episode with is that our good friend Jay Dockleton, which is J underscore Dockleton, so
Duckleton.
Jae
Trust me, we'll
unders
promote the shit out of this dude.
underscore Docleton is going to be doing his lore stream debut on Friday, which is why we're both not going to be
Yeah, it slipped my
doing
mind
it.
until I saw on Twitter that he was hyping. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I need to make an announcement on that. So this is my formal announcement. Friday stream is gonna be canceled so we can support Jay Dockleton.
And we should all support Jay because he is the most amazing cephalopod out there.
Yes.
Sorry, all you other cephalopods. I love you too, but Jay is the bestest of the best, in my opinion.
No
And
problem,
it's a little
Jay.
biased. Yeah, we love you.
Yeah, we love you.
Jay.
Even though I should start interacting with you more because I've been meaning to. I just keep on forgetting to message you because I've been so busy with classes and stuff. Which
Me and Jay talk a lot, but
yeah, I've been meaning to message
Life
him.
happens.
Yeah, it does because you know how busy I've been.
Yeah, I do. And then I've been super busy. I've had like 3 writing deadlines this week and
Yeah.
driving myself crazy. So, I'm really glad that we got this together, got it done.
Yeah,
It's
it almost
been
got pushed back,
yeah,
but
it almost got pushed back, but we put it together and we got it. And I'm glad because I definitely wanted to start right before Halloween because it's a spooky sort of podcast type thing. You know, I wish that true crime was a thing you could input in for like the top,
most people
like the type of
yeah,
cast you're doing.
category.
Yeah.
But not most people will live stream their podcasts. It could be a crime podcast to Twitch, so there's not going to be a category. So that's why it just makes sense to be just chatting, because we are technically
Yeah.
just chatting.
We are just chatting, but
But-
we're chatting about serial killers and criminals.
Even though this
for
is a
your
spook-
entertainment.
Even though this is a spooky podcast, I will say, when it comes to the Christian, I'm sorry, but there's going to be laughs and what the hell moments and stuff. Because I'm sorry, but talking about Christian, I cannot be serious. That will be the one time I am going to lose my crap.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Okay,
you for
let's go.
coming. We love you.
Love you, Jay!
Love you, Jay. You're my boy, Jay.
Even though we just
My boy,
met,
Lou.
you're my boy, my other sea creature. That we need to bully this land creature. I mean, what?
I
But-
could turn into a frost giant. Don't tempt me.
Listen, you forget I'm an axolotl. We know how to regenerate, and there's a TED talk about axolotls that if we were more on land, we become god killers.
Oh God, that sounds.
And you forget I'm always on
Horrible.
land most of the time.
Oh no. Oh God, we could do like they should do an episode of that like death battle thing with you and me if we ever make it someday. If we ever make it
Hey,
someday.
animator of our 2 forms, like my god killer form if I ever grow one, and your frost giant form.
Heck yeah, I do want to get a frost giant form avatar made
There-
at some point.
There is I want to get a monstrous axolotl form made, but I'm going to make like the whole joke like off of the whole blighted serum off of Dead by Daylight, like a blighted Sam.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I was thinking like for next year that I would have by Halloween that I want to have my my giant form done.
By next hopefully before my birthday I will have my 2D, like I will say this, yeah, I'm getting a 2D model made and stuff, so hopefully by my birthday and stuff I could or before or by the time it's my birthday in May I could get I'll be 2D, so 3D.
Ooh, a May birthday.
Yeah, I'm a summer baby.
Yeah, my birthday just passed. But
Which I
I'm
forgot to tell you
Libra.
happy birthday, which I hate myself.
Hey, it happens. It happens. Like life came at me super fast.
Also,
This
at the
month.
same time, you never told me it
So
was
did
your
the stairs.
birthday. Yeah, true. And also, at the same time, you forgot to tell me when your birthday was.
It's October 18th.
Now I know.
Yep.
Imagine not knowing your co-host's birthday. Could be me.
Okay. But I want to thank everybody again for coming.
Yes,
you guys
thank you, everyone.
have been amazing. We are going to be back in 2 weeks with another case, actually.
But we won't reveal that case until like probably the day of, most likely.
Maybe the day of, maybe like
Beginning of the
like a few
week.
days before, or something like that.
Who knows?
But it's definitely going to be more in line since we're gearing towards the holidays, towards a holiday-ish kind of case.
Yeah, but you also gotta remember, you gotta make sure we get those good reviews.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go. If you're watching this VOD or if you're watching the stream, if you can guess by those clues what case we're talking about, you can win a free chibi from me. So the clues I will give you are that it is more geared towards the holidays, as he said.
We
It
make
has
sure we get those good reviews for our next episode.
and that you should make sure that you are best prepared for possible train travel.
If you could guess it before, I'm pretty sure Honey's gonna make that Twitter post about it. I'm gonna retweet it to hell to help promote it because I'm lazy sometimes. Like she said, you could win a chibi version of her, and I'll throw in a marketable plushie of me.
Yeah.
Which I still need to send you that PNG of marketable plushie me for you to use whenever you need to. Because I remember you said one day you want to get like plushies of us and have like on our desk.
Yeah, to have on our desk. So if you viewers can figure out from those 3 clues what exactly I could be talking about, if you can guess the case beforehand, you can win it. You can win a chibi drawn by me. So
And I'll throw in the marketable plushie.
So put on your thinking caps, get out the magnifying glasses, and get to work and try and figure it out.
Oh, honey, I'm getting turned into a marketable plushie.
Oh, oh no!
But I think a good way to end this off is to wish all of you a happy Halloween.
Yes, happy Halloween, because we will not. Well, I'll see you before Halloween, and he'll see you before Halloween, but we won't see you together before Halloween.
Yeah.
So, happy
Halloween from the both of us.
Check your candy.
Make sure
check your drinks. If you go to a party, check your drinks. Don't leave them out. Don't leave them out around anybody that you don't know.
Please don't drink Kool-Aid with pixie sticks, because now I can't get Jonestown in this case out of my head.
Really, it did make me think of that too. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh man, yeah, God, yeah, it is Jonestown like. So, and we'll do an episode on Jonestown at some point too. But thank you again to everybody. Happy Halloween. Be safe this weekend when you are doing whatever you're doing, even if it's snacking at home. And we'll see you not next week, but the week after for our next episode.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.